One of the most common interview questions for AWS developers and architects is about Lambda. The question usually sounds like this: what is AWS Lambda, what are its key benefits, and when should you use it? The short answer is that Lambda is a serverless compute service. You upload your code, and AWS runs it in response to events without you managing servers. You only pay for execution time, and Lambda automatically scales from a single request to thousands per second. Now let's dive deeper into real-world scenarios. In retail, an e-commerce company can use Lambda with S3 to process product images. Every time a new image is uploaded to S3, a Lambda function resizes it into different formats for web and mobile apps. This replaces the need for always-on servers and drastically reduces cost. In finance, think about fraud detection. A Lambda function can be triggered when a new transaction record appears in DynamoDB. It runs fraud detection logic in real time and flags suspicious activity instantly. Instead of running servers 24/7, Lambda only runs when there's data to process. In healthcare, hospitals can use Lambda for real-time data ingestion. For example, IoT devices in patient monitoring systems send health metrics. Lambda functions process the data streams, trigger alerts if thresholds are exceeded, and store results in a secure database. All this happens without provisioning or scaling servers. In media and entertainment, streaming platforms use Lambda to generate thumbnails or automatically tag uploaded videos using machine learning services like Rekognition. Lambda makes it easy to plug into other AWS services to create automated, event-driven workflows. Now let's cover the do's and don'ts. Do use Lambda for short, event-driven tasks that can run quickly and independently. Don't use Lambda for long-running processes. The maximum execution time is 15 minutes. Do design Lambda functions to be stateless, meaning they don't rely on data stored in memory between runs. Don't store session data inside Lambda. Instead, use DynamoDB or Elasticache for session management. Do monitor costs carefully. While Lambda can be cheap, functions triggered by high-volume events can run millions of times, generating unexpected bills. Don't assume serverless always means low cost. You must analyze your workload patterns. Now let's look at common interview-style questions and model answers. Question: when would you choose Lambda over running code on EC2? Answer: I'd choose Lambda when workloads are event-driven and unpredictable, like processing S3 uploads, responding to API gateway requests, or streaming data with Kinesis. With Lambda, I don't need to provision or manage servers, and I only pay per execution, which is ideal for spiky workloads. Question: what are the limitations of Lambda? Answer: Lambda has a maximum execution time of 15 minutes per invocation, so it's not suited for long-running jobs. Memory and disk space are limited. Cold starts can add latency, especially in VPC-connected functions. If I need persistent processes or fine-grained OS control, EC2 or ECS Fargate is better. Question: how do you scale Lambda for thousands of concurrent users? Answer: Lambda scales automatically by creating new execution environments per request. If my workload needs throttling or concurrency limits, I configure reserved concurrency. For example, in a ticket booking system, I'd set concurrency controls to prevent back-end overload while still scaling up for high demand. Now let's address challenges. Cold starts are one of the most frequent complaints with Lambda, especially for Java or .NET runtimes. To mitigate this, you can use provisioned concurrency to keep functions warm. Another challenge is vendor lock-in. Lambda tightly integrates with AWS services, so if you need multi-cloud portability, a containerized solution like Kubernetes or ECS Fargate may be a better choice. Finally, think about cost optimization. In an IoT use case, millions of small events could drive costs up. One solution is to batch events using Kinesis or SQS so that a Lambda function processes multiple records in one run, reducing the total number of executions. To recap, Lambda is serverless, event-driven, pay-per-use, and highly scalable. It's perfect for microservices, APIs, real-time data processing, and automation workflows. But it's not ideal for long-running, stateful, or extremely latency-sensitive tasks. A strong interview answer connects Lambda's benefits and limitations with real-world business outcomes. For example, Lambda helped my retail client reduce server costs by 70% by processing product images on demand is the kind of story that convinces hiring managers you know how to apply Lambda in practice.